going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky, I didn't say.
Eat your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far, or great night, wherever you are. Happy Tuesday. All right, I've got a good one. This is Judge Goggins, the small claims case. This, you know what? I don't know how to explain this. I don't. It's a small claims case where it just gets weird. Kind of like last night's case. It just gets weird, and I can't really explain it. So, yeah, we're just going to have to watch it together. Also, giant shout out to Lone Wolf who grabbed this clip for me. It's a long hearing, so the way that I grab clips is different than the way that he does. He can do it in about 2 seconds. I would have had to do it the old school way and watch the entire thing. So, thank you so much, Lone Wolf, for grabbing this for me. I do appreciate it. All right. Actually, before I start, Mary became a new member. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. You guys ready? I'm ready. Is there anything else I have to say? Not really. Oh, if you guys haven't seen the Judge Bryant video that I put out a couple hours ago, you got to go watch it after this. That was such a good video. I've been watching it a bunch of times because it's hilarious. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Anyways, go watch that after this if you haven't seen it yet. All right. That was about it. Okay. Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
Kamani Montoya versus Terrence Frank. Man,
Here. Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Montoya, got you there. How about Terrence Frank?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Mr. Frank, you're right there. Let me change your screen name there. Mr. Frank, this is a motion for you to set aside default that was entered. I do have my notes. Actually, at one point, testimony was taken for a default, and I did say defendant did not reappear for hearing after breakout room. Why didn't you come back on?
So I was in the break room and I didn't necessarily know how to get back to you.
Why didn't you just stay put for me? Why didn't you just stay on it?
I don't know. I should have just stayed on. I wasn't sure what to do.
Okay, and Mr. Montoya told me on that date that you were talking, the two of you were talking, and you just disconnected. That's what he told me.
Right. He got out of the chat and I was left in there by myself. Wasn't really sure what we were doing next. I didn't necessarily get a chance to defend myself.
Your Honor, if I may, he's clearly acting like he doesn't know this process. If you check and see, he has 7 default judgments with garnishments against him previously, and one as early as this year. So he knows the process of how this works.
Why are you? See, this is crazy, man. I don't even know why you're digging into my personal life, and this is about me and you. Your Honor, when I did this work for him,
okay, hold on. We're not even there yet. I got to decide whether or not to set this default aside. So why didn't you just?
All right. See, told you. It's already starting off good. It doesn't really stop. It does go up and down a lot because it's an hour-long hearing, so it will go up and down a lot. Starting off good, though. But if he has 7 default judgments, he doesn't really understand the process because he's not going to court. Just saying.
Come back on. If you disconnected, you just left and never came back on. I know I had other matters scheduled.
I honestly just did not know what to do, and I should have stayed on. That's why I drove back to the city and just reopened it because I was like, hey, I never got a chance to defend myself.
Okay. All right. You know what? For both your sakes, it should be a presumption that decide these things by hearing. If we're ready, we can do it right now, though, if you want. Both of
Yep.
you want to do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as long as both of you are there. Mr. Montoya, Mr. Frank, why don't both of you rate? Mr. Frank, can you get on video or not?
Yep, I can get on video.
There you go. Why don't both of you raise your right hands for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Montoya, why don't we start over then on your, and I know there were some exhibits that were submitted at one point. First of all, did you hire Mr. Frank to do some work for you?
Yes.
And it looks like it was I can't remember what it was, a patio? It was
Front
a
porch.
front porch.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cement front porch.
okay. How much did you put a down payment on it to have it
Yes.
done?
Yes, I gave him, the exhibit 1 shows the down payment of $2,075.
Heather.
With the contract. That's on the, showing on exhibit 1.
Okay, and I do have that. Mr. Frank, is that part true so far? Were you hired to do this front porch for him?
Yep.
Okay. It looks like you made a deposit of $2,075. Is that true too?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. All right, Mr. Montoya, why don't you go from that point on for me then?
Okay, so the front porch was to be, as you can see on the contract, 2 colors, 2 half moon steps. He charged me an extra for those. He also charged an extra for an additional height of the steps, which was the 650.
No.
It's right down the contract.
There's no, you weren't charged for 2 additional steps. I don't know where you're getting that from. I never charged you for additional steps. I don't understand what you're on.
Okay, it looks like.
May I finish?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. There looks like I guess for my sake then, the total on the contract was that 4,001? I can't read it now.
4,150.
50 or is it
Was it? Yeah.
4,150?
4,150. Yes.
Is that true, Mr. Frank? Is that what the totality of it?
For the total of everything, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I can read it right. I couldn't tell if it was a 3 or a 5. 4,150. Okay. With a down payment of $2,075. Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Montoya. Why don't you go from what it looks like you were supposed to get certain things on here, whether you get charged additionally or not. I don't see any additional things other than the flat amount was 4,150.
If you see at the top of the contract where it says 4-inch raise, additional to porch, and the plus additional 650.
That's added in there. That's all. That's not. That's
Right,
what
that's additional. That the total is 41, is what I'm saying. I guess
Okay.
you misunderstanding what I'm saying. The total so the reason why I'm addressing that is because in the beginning, that's what this is. The contract is spelled out how it's supposed to be. And then he decided that he couldn't do it, the raise price. I mean, the 4-inch raise. And he decided he wasn't going to do 2 steps. He was just going to pretty much try to put it back the way it was.
You were never gonna get 2 steps. I said if it comes to the point that we have to go 2 steps, we'll put 2 steps in. I never charged you for 2 steps. There's nothing in this contract that says
You will have
2
your
steps.
chance to testify.
I don't know why you keep making up 2 steps. I've been doing concrete my whole entire life. When I was ready to pour concrete, you got mad at me, called my phone and told me you don't want me to do anything, take everything down, walk our way, give you $900 back and you'll be fine, which I felt like I shouldn't give you anything because for one, if you know anything about breaking out 6-inch concrete on a porch, I had to do that by hand with a crew. Okay, first of all, we had to cut that out and remove it by hand. We're talking concrete. Then I had to form it up, which wasn't to your liking. So
Mr. Frank, hold on. I'll give you a chance to talk to. Let me just hear what he's saying, and then the interjection was okay for a few minutes, but let's just kind of let him talk, and then I'll give you a chance. So you're saying 2 steps, and I understand, Mr. Frank, you got some dispute on that, but Mr. Montoya, you're telling me it was for 2 steps.
It's for 2 steps, which is clearly stated on the contract. The 2 steps is supposed to be a stamped concrete.
Okay, where does it, help me out, where does it say 2 steps? I see 2 color mix.
That's two color mix half moon steps. That's
Right. That's
It's
a two
the
color
two-
mix half moon step.
Frank, Mr. Frank, please don't. I'm gonna end up having to mute you. Okay, just stay quiet for me. He gets a chance, and then you're gonna have a chance. So you're saying that the word steps is actually supposed to mean two.
right, because the reason why we agreed on the two steps is once you raise the porch up, which the additional 650 was, that's why we added a second step. That's why he has two color mix half moon steps. It's supposed to be two steps, that because we agreed to raising the steps another 6 inches. Raising the porch another 6 inches. That's why he charged me the additional 650.
Where does it say 6 inch raise? I see 4 inch.
4 inch raise.
Okay.
4 inch raise. Right.
Okay.
4 inch in addition to what I already had.
Okay.
Okay. So then okay, so we agreed. This is the agreement. It's also in text. I gave him we agreed that half will be down the day he starts. So he comes to start. I give him the half, and then he went to lunch or something with one of his friends or whatever, or one of his workers. And well, I guess I left first, and he left behind me. And I noticed he put a sign that he was advertising this business sign in my yard, and I took that out. So when he came back, it kind of upset him. He said he was upset about that or whatever, and he just packed up his stuff and left. So then I started texting him and trying to, offer him, well, if you're gonna walk away from this, whatever, just give some of the money back or whatever. He didn't agree to that. He said, just trust the process, this, that, and the other. But he had bad energy that day is the reason why he left, because I took his sign out.
Okay, so hold on right there for me for just a minute then.
Okay.
When you took the sign out, how much work was done on that?
I mean, I saw the sign. It opened up my eyes. Yeah, I saw the sign. Anybody? All this over a sign? There's got to be more to it, right? Not just a sign. Vic, thank you so much for your 7 months. I appreciate it. You weren't late. 8:02. It's not late at all. I think I was even still yapping in my intro when at 8:02. Anyway, thank you so much for the 7 months. I do appreciate it, buddy.
Front porch.
He just took the cap off. He took the cap off the porch.
Is Mr. Frank at that point? Well, I'll give you a chance to talk. Hold on. So Mr. Montano, you're saying when you took the sign out, he had at that point he had just removed. When you say the cap, what does that mean?
That's just well, let me see.
Just tell me what that means to you.
Okay, so if you look at Exhibit 3.
Okay. Yep.
Exhibit 3 is a cap that goes over the whole top of that.
Okay.
And he just took that off.
And what was that made out of? Do you know?
Concrete.
Oh, it was concrete. Okay. Okay.
So he took that off. So he had this issue about me taking the sign out the yard. So that's when he left. So then we had another discussion. He came back the next day or whatever, and he put up, as you see, Exhibit 4, Exhibit 5. He put up that frame there, Exhibit 6 and 7. He put up the frame, as you see in Exhibit 7, is set up for one step and minus the additional 4 inches that he said. So pretty much the frame that he put up is basically trying to put it back the way that I had it.
Okay.
Okay. And so the problem is this: if you still looking at Exhibit 7, he cut the post to the height that it's supposed to be with the additional 4 inches. If you look at all 4 posts in Exhibit 7, that's the height that is supposed to be that I paid for. He decided he couldn't do that. Well, the reason why he decided he couldn't do it is because if you're looking at the base on if you look at Exhibit 10, it shows where he damaged the front of the siding of the house. He put, instead of using ice and water shield, he used house shingles on top of a board. There's no way that any type of concrete can just hold that board. He just nailed down a board. He didn't reinforce it up under it, which is supposed to be reinforced up under it to hold all of that concrete. He didn't reinforce none of it. So he decided that he gonna put house shingles on top of a board and try to pour thousands of pounds of concrete on there. And as you can see in Exhibit 7, the one porch that he framed for, which again is supposed to be 2, this is his frame. So,
Okay, let me before I forget to ask you I guess the roof post, the posts that are holding the roof up at that point. You mentioned that, were they cut? Did he cut them, or was
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where he got those roofs. Those are roof shingles.
No, I'm not talking about roof shingles. I'm talking about the you call them posts, the posts that go up to the roof line.
Oh, yes.
Up higher.
Yes, he cut those. He cut those because that's the height that the new concrete is supposed to go.
Okay, so those were probably, were they down by the I guess the it looks like 2x6 board or something originally? Were they down farther?
Yes. No, they wasn't down further. They're actually down that far. They're down that far. The height, what you're looking at is the height that that the new concrete is supposed to be.
Okay,
that's why he cut the post that high.
Gotcha. Okay, so that level matches up with where the door is there. I'm assuming.
No. So originally they were down. It was down further.
Yep.
Right. So then when we decided to add the 4 inches, that's his mark to how high the concrete is supposed to level out to.
Okay. All right, go ahead I'm sorry.
All right, I was trying to figure out a good place to pause. They don't really stop talking very often throughout this clip. Anyways, Big N, thank you so much for the raid, my friend. I appreciate it. Welcome to all the Big N raiders. This is this clip, as you can see, these two don't get along. The guy in the top right-hand corner, he does some kind of construction. He was hired to put in steps, I guess, in front of this guy's house. And, well, it started off bad because the guy put his company sign in the guy's front yard, and the guy took it out. And apparently that made him mad, and, yeah, he just did a crappy job. And now I guess he's wanting his money back. No idea. We're not there yet. But that's about where we're at right now. Yeah. Anyways, Big N, you're awesome. Thank you.
From that point on,
okay. And then again, so like I said, I offered him, I think it was, I got it in the text here. I offered him to pay back like 900 and something bucks. He refused to do that. He just said, trust the process. And then he says he put up this, like I said, he put up this frame that wouldn't hold no concrete at all. So then he says, after he told me that the concrete people were coming the next day, and then we're done. That's exactly what he says in text message. So then after that, he just walked away from the job.
Okay, so when you say walked away, is this day 3?
No, this was like into the next week. No, it was. So I think he started on like whatever day the 24th was. Well, he started 8. Looked like 8/20, whatever day 8/20 was.
Okay.
And then
so when he left, when you say he walked off, would Exhibit 7 does that show about the point where he left at that point?
Exhibit 7.
That's the one that's got the post cut, I think.
Right. No, Exhibit 7 that was the day he put up the frame.
Right.
It told me that the concrete people are coming the next day.
Right.
And I'm like, I sent him pictures of this with the holes in it, like I gave you as well, with the holes in it, letting him know that no concrete is going to be able to hold this, because all this is two flat boards with roofing concrete, with roofing shingles around it. There is no way that concrete can hold this. Absolutely, because you have to reinforce up under the boards before you put the boards. He never reinforced it.
Yeah, and what I'm asking, was this the condition was the last time he was on, I guess, the property?
No, he actually came back and took the boards down, and through all the, and as you can see in Exhibit 9, he took the boards down, threw all the stuff swept all the stuff in the grass, and that's the day. That was the last day he was there.
Okay. So exhibit 10, what is that? I know that's showing the roof shingles that were supposedly being.
Exhibit 10 shows where, again, the post, the damage to the front of the house that he done. I don't know how he done that. And then it's showing house shingles, which were water and ice supposed to be. Instead of putting water and ice shield around, you're supposed to put water and ice shield where you can see like it's gray up under the siding. It's supposed to go up under there and all across the porch, because that porch is the top of my basement.
Okay. I got you. That makes, okay. So the last, I guess the picture that shows probably the best reasonable way it looks when he was the last on the property, which one would that be exhibit?
That would be,
Let's see, 9.
Yeah, I really wish we could see these pictures too. We don't get to see them. But there's still a lot more arguing. Like, we're not even halfway through this clip. I think the whole thing's about 55 minutes long. We're, I don't know, 19 minutes in.
yes, that's one of them. That's just, I show how he threw all the debris in the grass on now.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but that was probably close to the last time he was on the property.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Frank, why don't you tell me what you did and why things, I guess, stopped? What happened?
Okay, Your Honor. So this man met me at a gas station. I was asking if I did concrete. He seen my truck, that was Kings of Concrete, and our advertisement. I said yes. I went by, checked it out. Gave him a magazine of the things that I could offer. We agreed upon some things. He had the post that's in the front. Before I even did concrete, he wanted to get those posts completely removed and redone. So I said I knew a company, I knew a guy. I had that guy come out and talk with him. I don't know what they discussed, but when I got done with the porch, those posts were coming out and they were getting remodeled. So going into, even because you can't rip out concrete without those posts even being tampered with. It's impossible. So we knew going into this project that these posts are going to have to get redone. They were all messed. The whole project was just messed up when I got there. Everything was already messed up. That's why we were actually redoing it. And I told him, like, you're getting this fancy concrete. These posts are going to be not going to match with what you're getting. So he was going to get those posts done. So I was good for the go ahead to do what I needed to do to get that concrete out. The first day when he paid me, I cut the concrete out with a saw. We had to use a sledgehammer. It's 6 inches thick. We're cutting it out, we're removing it, we're hauling it away because I can't bring a bobcat in because I could just destroy too much. So that was by hand with an older gentleman and a younger guy. I had a team of guys. We broke it out the first day. The second day the first day we just cut it out with a saw. I'm sorry. I'm going to walk you through the whole process.
Yeah.
I just made my cuts because it was a lot of cutting. You got to understand I had to cut this concrete in squares so we could be able to remove it.
Yep.
So the first day was just saw cutting. Regardless if I was there 2 to 3 hours, that was my day. I'm done. Next day, I come back. We actually started to remove the concrete. So we removed the concrete. We're hauling away on pickup trucks and getting the concrete out. We did that. Once we were done, day done. We're going on to the next day because it takes about a week to 2 weeks to complete this project. So, that's just how I run my business. One day of cutting, one day of moving concrete, next day we're going to form up. So next day we come in, I got my forming tools, I'm forming up. About the sign thing, that was weird when he removed my sign. It's not like I was all upset. I was more offended. Like, dang, man, I thought you were a cool dude. This is how I advertise in my business. He's like, you don't put your yard in my sign until you prove to me everybody does what I do and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all right, it's cool. I wasn't like mad at him. It was like, okay, it's cool because I do concrete for everybody. And this is how I survive and take care of my family. So I'm a people.
All right, I got to pause it on that. First off, you don't put your yard in my sign. I know that he got those words backwards, but that was a funny sentence. Also, you don't put a sign in someone's yard without asking permission. You don't just do that. You're trying to get free advertising off the guy. You just ask him, do a good job, and then say, hey, do you mind if I put a sign in your yard? Kind of the business way to do it. Anyways, true crime fan Carla, thank you so much for becoming a new member. I appreciate it. Welcome to the family.
Pleaser. So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's cool. Just trying to keep the peace because it was weird vibe. So, after I started forming it up, he comes outside and he's like, hey, man, something's wrong. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it ain't high enough. And I was like, yeah, I was like, yes, you're right. It's not high enough because these measurements aren't just going to work out right. We had agreed that we raised his porch 4 inches higher. Granted that everything works out. It was going to be the $650. That was extra, but that didn't work. So he's like, why didn't you tell me you were going to adjust it? I was like, I just didn't get a chance, but you still need a porch. So now I just got to go off the basic principles and code of having this porch. I told him, nope, I can't do it. I'm just going to do it the regular way that we're supposed to. So I think he was upset with me at that. And I told him that I would give him the money back for the additional part that I could not do. So even if we were to raise the porch higher, he still wouldn't been able to get 2 steps because it just wouldn't have worked out as such. Before, sometimes when you go give estimates and you're kind of looking at things eye to eye, sometimes like you may need 2 steps, you may not. That's why I put quotations. If you ever look at the part where it says steps, there's quotations. And where it says steps, that's because that means you may need it or you may not need it. And I explained that when we're actually talking in the contract. So once that was done, I ended up forming everything up. When we removed that slab, we realized that there was a 10-foot bottom down to the ground because the builders that built that slab before, you don't have to fill all that up with dirt. Just like they had it, it was just bottom in the plastic, and it was your wood that you use to hold the concrete. The same wood that was there before, sir. I went to the store and I purchased the same type of wood that they used to pour this concrete. For whatever reason, he was mad at what I was doing. We had the 3/4 inch rod that we were going to put in the concrete to support. Everything was going to work out just fine. He was extremely upset because he didn't like the way that we were doing this. Well, this was on a Saturday, sir. I ended up calling him, letting him know, hey, we got concrete coming on Monday. I didn't say it was the next day. It was going to be on Monday morning, because Sunday he ended up texting me the next day saying, no, I don't feel right about this. I think that we should walk away. You give me $900 and we be good. And I'm just like, no, not so fast, because I did a lot of work to put this porch together, and you should have just waited to allow me to do this work for you and get everything done. But instead, now you want to jump into my process and stop right before I have concrete coming and tell me that you want money back after I've already done my 50% of the bargain. The 50% down represents me to rip out that concrete and form it up. Once I get concrete laid down, and fixed up and putting the stamp in, that's when you pay the remainder balance. That's the rest of the work. So why would I give you money back when I've already done half of the work? Now it's concrete time. You're telling me you don't want me to finish? I've never just walked away from work. I've never just walked away from a job. He told me out of his own mouth, because he called me very pissed off and upset that he didn't like what I was doing, and this is not going to work with him. He has a very beautiful home inside and out of his house, and he's very particular in what he wants. So I was trying to make sure I was doing best by him, but I left everything as is. We were still eye to eye on what I was doing. He didn't like it at all, so he told me he don't want me to pour concrete. I said, fine, I'll clean up. I went down, I took down my stuff, and I walked away. I cleaned up everything. I didn't do any damage into his house. I took down the frames. I cleaned up what I needed to clean up, and I walked away. And that was that. I never gave him back the $650 because we had kind of gotten a heated argument, and I kind of didn't like his energy towards me and how I felt like I was being bullied around. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to give you anything, because honestly, I don't deserve to give you anything anyway. I would have gave you that $650 just to be generous, but like, I'm not going to keep fighting with you. I want nothing to do with you now. You go and have somebody else do your work, and you can breathe down their back, and you tell them how to, since he knows how to do concrete so well, and he's done so many porches in his lifetime, he's going to tell me what's my work worth. I just can't agree to that.
Okay, so the part where we're at, he says, what it was just the day, I guess the day before you were going to pour concrete.
You can't pour concrete on Sunday, Your Honor.
Okay, so were you over on the property on Sunday or Saturday? Was
on Saturday? I cleaned everything up.
Okay, so hold on right there for me. So Saturday you're over on the property.
And I've been on the property all week long.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just talking about that Saturday. So I got that part straight. You're there on Saturday. Is the porch ready for concrete at that point on Saturday?
When I let my customers know that I have concrete scheduled, when that truck is on the road, Your Honor, I am now responsible for that concrete. He told me before that concrete even came, I don't want you pouring anything. Okay, I do not like it.
No, I'm going to get there, though. I just want to make sure I understand. At that point, this is Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
So what on Saturday does the porch look like? Can you describe what's ready to go?
So I actually had photos. I didn't know how all this was going to work, but I have the photos I took pictures before I started. I have pictures throughout this whole process, and I have pictures of me cleaning up. So I wish I could, can I upload these photos in here while we're here?
You can, but maybe I can walk through it first before you do that. But his photo, yeah, apparently you've got his photos that he's sent me.
I would hope. I took my own photos, and he's got his own photo. So I don't know. They may not look.
The one photo I'm looking at that I guess I'm going to ask you about, it's got roofing shingles around the back side of it towards the wall of the house, basically.
Right.
How is that proper? Help me out with that.
That's just to stop leakage.
Yeah.
What?
That's just to stop leakage in water. You're gonna so wait. What do you want to say? You're gonna tell me how to do my job?
So what you're telling me, sir, is that you've got those roofing shingles there to stop, I guess, leakage through.
That's all. That's just strictly water. That's just water protection. It's strictly just water. If he wanted water to come back into his house, I wouldn't have put it there and just say whatever.
Okay.
But that's just strictly water protection.
Okay.
And you can do that there's several ways you can protect to keep water coming out.
Okay.
And he does not like that. He did not like that at all.
Let me ask you this. I guess as you're saying that, on that back side where the shingles are, does that porch, is that still all exterior down to the grass line?
down to the ground.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
is that, if I look at the picture, if I'm looking at that back side where the shingles are on that porch, where you
Yes.
got the shingles, if I was to look at it from the side view, the rest of that porch below that, is it all exterior? I see brick wall on the outside of the house. Does that go all the way down to the end there, down to the grass?
It's all the way in the. So it's about 8 feet down.
Okay. Okay, that's what I'm asking, I
And
guess.
so when you pour concrete, what we do is we use re-rot reinforcement.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see any of that in this picture that he has, but there should be re-rot reinforcement sitting on top of the plywood.
There is. Yeah.
And that's the reinforcement that actually locks the concrete together
Yeah.
so it can hold.
Yeah. Okay.
If that wasn't the case, Your Honor, they would have filled that blank hole in a long time ago when they built that house with the original porch.
Yeah. Okay. So that's I'm going to take it as that's the way it looked when we were ready to I guess to pour on Monday, come Monday, right? Is that right?
I'm not 100%. You could have a different, because when the pictures that I have when I'm ready to pour the finalized photo, and I don't know if that's the finalized photo because I can't see
Okay, I'll
it.
tell you what, if you've got other photos, I guess, boy, I hate to spend so much time on this, but I guess I need to see some of your photos too then. Why don't you send them, I'll give you an email to send them to for me.
Okay.
And we'll do them in black and white, but at least I'll have something here. It's going to be I'll give me one word, J, D as in David.
All right. I cut all that out. It wasn't the court's email address, so I didn't want the email address being out there. No idea whose email address is, but we don't need to hear it. Let's see. That was a good. I feel like I had something. Oh, yes, that's what I wanted to. Was this the person with the how do I say it? She was the person that had like the mental health issues, right? She made a lot of weird comments. If that's the person you're talking about, then yes, I did see that, Zach. I don't like playing those kind of cases if it's the person you're talking about. But yeah, it was, yeah. But I saw it. I guess that's it. Okay. Let's keep going.
And two. So you've got the picture that I really want is the last day you were on site. Okay, that's the biggest one. All right, and Mr.
Well, the last day of me be on site would be everything cleaned up with just a board, nothing, the shingles laying on top, and that's it. That was the last day because I had to come back and clean up.
Okay. Okay, well, we can discuss
I'm
it.
sending you the point before concrete.
Yep, that's what I want. Yep. Because you never got a chance. Mr. Montoya, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. So you never got a chance to pour concrete. But at that
Right.
point, it was like not doing it, right?
Right.
Okay. And I guess, Mr. Montoya, while we're waiting for that, then why don't we go to you for just a second then? You've asked for the $2,075 that you paid him. What
Did you hear Judge Middleton, what he said to her attorney at the end of the hearing? When you go visit her in person, maybe bring her some toilet paper. I think that would cheer her up a little bit. That was pretty funny too.
if he did work up to that point, did you tell him that you didn't want concrete poured? Is that what happened? I mean, I remember you saying something like that before.
Yeah, the reason why is because, as you can see in Exhibit 1, he has those boards. I mean, Exhibit 2. Look at Exhibit 2. As you can see, those re-rods, those are supposed to be inside the concrete. I don't know why he think that.
Since you lay that first, you don't know the process.
You will be able to testify. Why do you keep interrupting?
Because you're saying like you don't make sense.
Your Honor.
Yeah, hold on, Mr. Frank. I'll give you a chance again. You're talking about I guess exhibit 2. It's got rerouted sitting on top of the plywood.
Top of plywood. Okay,
Yep.
so if you think about this, as soon as you pour concrete on that, the concrete is going to go between those the rerods, right? And it's going to hit that board. Concrete cannot hold that board. Just that board by itself cannot hold concrete. And as you see where that split is, my new contractors pushed on that, and even if you just push on it, the concrete would have went straight through. That's one reason why. The other reason why is because he's put, as you see in exhibit 4, there are several holes in this frame that he put up. So, and exhibit 4, exhibit 5, exhibit 6. These are holes that are in the frame that this alleged frame that he put up that he thinks is going to hold concrete. The other thing is you have to have ice and water shield. Instead of ice and water shield, he decides to put house shingles, house shingles are not made for ice and water. You have to put that across it after you reinforce it up along the side of the siding in front of the house. That's how it's supposed to be properly done. So had he had them come in and pour concrete on top of those boards, it would have just collapsed. So, I mean, you really just causing more damage than
Your Honor,
repairing anything.
Okay, all right. I understand, Mr. Mentoro, what you're saying. So Mr. Frank, what can you argue with me that?
Your Honor, think about what he's telling you. When that house was built, that's all that they put there and poured the porch on top. We didn't get nothing caved in then. This is not my first porch. He gave me work because I showed him my work. He wanted me to do the work because I showed him pictures of previous porches that I've done. He didn't trust me. He's like, no, I see holes there. I see holes there. I'm like, dude, trust me. Let me pour the concrete. You don't know let me do this. I got it under control. He didn't even let me do my job. Now you want me that's why he didn't let me pour. I was ready to go. This was all going to work out. I wouldn't, if it would, I wish he just let it caved in, because then I would have been responsible. Out of all the years I poured concrete, a porch has never caved in on me. I reinforce every single porch that I've ever poured. I got video of me when I do of my process. This is crazy.
Okay.
You should have poured your porch. You're trying to tell me how to do it. You should have just did it yourself. You called me for my business and then told me that you didn't want me to pour, so we walked away. Now you want money back from me? That's crazy. You didn't help me rip out the concrete. You didn't help me frame it up. You didn't rip it out. You didn't frame it up, regardless if it was right or wrong to your standard. I did the work.
Okay, so let me, I guess, Mr. Frank, let me just ask you kind of a question. If what he's saying is whatever, we'll say is accurate, and I understand you're the ones doing the work, but at the point where you're getting ready to pour the concrete, which is where I'm going to see your picture, it's going to say, okay, this is at the point you're ready to pour. You're comfortable with pouring it at that point. How much time and effort do you have in at that point? If your contract is, he's got $2,075 down payment.
So this is how it works, Your Honor.
Okay.
When you put 50% down first, because for one, I know I got to rip out concrete. I know I got to frame. I know I got to go buy product. I know that there's material that I need, and I'm getting ready to put in labor. Okay. You never pay me the 100% because I want to make sure that I earn my money piece by piece. Mm-hmm. Once I'm ready to pour concrete and I framed everything up and I say that I'm ready, that's 50% of the job. Now, once concrete comes and I pour the concrete and I do everything I need to do to make it work, that's the last portion that hasn't been paid for me. That's when I knock on your door and say, hey, I'm complete. I like the remaining portion of my job.
Okay, so at that point, before this kind, you're telling me that $2,000, whatever it was, $2,075 was already earned at that point.
That was well over.
Mr.
Your Honor, he clearly just told you that he was willing to give back the 6.
I was willing to give back to 6.
What?
It was your attitude.
When do I get to
Okay,
testify?
hold on. So, at one point, I guess, Mr. Montoya, you were willing to take 600 back and call it good?
No. What it was I was willing to take, and I still have it in text message here. 1 second.
We both have it in the text message. Does it say 500?
All right, while he's looking this up, yeah, it's kind of funny. At first, I didn't know what side I was on. I kept kind of going back and forth. So I don't really like either of these guys. They both seem they're both not respecting the court. They're talking over each other. The judge, I don't even think the judge is trying his best. He's not a contractor. He doesn't know how to do this. He doesn't pour concrete. So he's relying on the testimony of both these guys to figure out what happened. And yeah, but yeah, Frank, he might not have been doing it the way that, the homeowner thought he should have done it. But if he's done it 1,000 times, or I don't know why I said 1,000 times, he has proof that his job works. It's just weird that the homeowner stopped him mid-process. And I agree with Frank at this one. Just let him pour it. If it caves in, then yeah, Frank's responsible for it. I would have done that. Yeah, I don't know though. I wouldn't have been, trying to micromanage someone I hired to do a job though. This is weird.
$875.
I have no idea. I don't know if that comes up. I feel like if he wasn't licensed, it would have come up. Especially the homeowner. Yeah, he's calling him out on everything, micromanaging everything. So I feel like if he wasn't licensed, he would have brought that up. But then it would have been on him because he hired him. So, yeah, who knows?
No, that's not right. Let me look through. That can't be. That's what you wanted back, and I told you there's no way I would give you that back. That's impossible.
Listen.
There's no way I would give you $875 back. You know how much work I did for you? Are you kidding me? You're trying to get all the.
He did not even listen, Your Honor. This job that he did would not.
I'm bringing up the text now.
It would have just caused. All it would have caused was more damage.
So you should have let. You should have let that. I think you should have let that happen. You should have let that happen instead of telling me to walk away from all the work that I've done. You should have let it cave in.
He told you he walked away from the job. He clearly
because you didn't want me to pour. What else can I do?
Let me hold on, guys. I guess
my energy was bad. That's what he's going by. So,
oh my Lord,
Mr. Frank, he has one photo that shows some damage to some siding. Well, I say it's damage. I don't know if it's damage or not. It's kind of stressed somehow.
Can I see it? Because I don't have no clue. He could have brought these. If there was, this is new things that I don't even know about. No,
okay.
You're just.
Yeah. Sure, I understand. It's towards. Do you have his exhibits at all or not?
I don't know what his exhibits look like.
Okay, he's got one that show. In fact, maybe yours will. Let's hold on. I guess I'm going to try to hold it up there. I don't know if this never seems to work, but I'll show you the one picture I got here. I got to take that screen off of there. I think. Let me. Let me take this. I got to get that backdrop off of there. Hold on, just a minute. Yeah, I can take that off there for a sec.
Well, they would be in his pictures too, as well, if he got them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we can wait till we get his. We'll get his. At any rate, there's some siding that's on the back side of the post by the door. It looks either damaged or pressed somehow, wrinkled.
Could you post it in the screen? Because I'm sure.
Yours, Mr. Montoya, maybe you can, because I get that darn background thing on my screen there right now. I gotta get it, take it off. And while you're doing one, yeah, there you go. There you go. That one right there. See how that's right there?
I don't see anything.
You don't see his photo? Can you see that photo right there of
Okay,
his?
I see it.
Yep, that siding is what he's saying was damaged. Was that damaged by you?
That couldn't have been damaged by me.
Okay.
And if that was, because dude, you were there. You could have been like, "Hey, you damaged my property." When did that happen? That's crazy, man.
Okay. Yeah, so,
I complain. Listen. All
This
of
is
this,
crazy.
this whole framework, all of this he put together, then decided he couldn't go up that high. None of this. He estimated this job to get the highest deposit possible. And that's what he
Absolutely
did.
not.
And
Actually,
then he turned around and say, "Oh, I can't do
dude,
this."
what is your issue, man?
Then,
You're not the
then he
first
turned
guy
around
I've
and
ever
said
done a
he
porch
couldn't
for.
he couldn't do what we agreed to.
No.
So
The
by
only
that
thing that
time,
couldn't
he
be done,
damaged.
the only thing that couldn't be done was the additional 4-inch raise. That's it. Stop saying the other stuff. You're making up stuff. You don't got to do that, man. We raised our right hands.
So again, Your Honor,
We raised our right hands. So again, you didn't want me to finish, so I didn't. And you don't deserve anything for that. I don't have a penny for you. I did the work.
okay, so Mr. Frank, from your side, the only thing that could not be done was the extra 4 inches raised
Yes,
up.
sir.
And
Yes,
what's,
Your Honor.
and the steps and the extra step.
You were never getting.
okay, guys,
Why do you keep?
hold on. I'm gonna see, let me go see if I can get your exhibit, sir, Mr. Frank. Hold on, guys. All right, Mr. Frank, Mr. Montoya, they're not, Mr. Frank, for some reason, they haven't come through. I think I can make some decisions without it, though. The last, what you're telling me, Mr. Frank, the last time you were on there was we'll say it's Saturday, and Mr. Montoya said he didn't want any more done, didn't want this concrete poured because, in his eyes, it wasn't done properly, but he wouldn't let you finish it. Is that true?
Correct.
Okay. And Mr. Montoya, what you're telling me is the reason you didn't want it finished was because it wasn't done appropriately.
David, thank you so much for that comment. Yeah, no, I'm starting to lean that way too, because I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense here.
Correct.
Right.
With the holes and the shingles.
Yeah.
You don't pour concrete on top of shingles, house shingles. That's kind of like rigging it.
Okay.
And I did not get what the contract says. He changed his whole plan. He never intended on doing those 6 inches again. Like I said,
How could you say that?
He never intended to do that, to add the extra 4 inches like he intended, like the contract said.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. And so, Mr. Frank, on that portion with the 4-inch raise, why couldn't you raise it that 4 inches?
Because the measurements, because what was going to happen was he was going to have too high of a raise when you walk up his porch. Not high enough to where we can squeeze 2 steps in, though. To squeeze 2 steps in, it would have made it off balance and it would have been uncomfortable and nobody would have liked it.
Your Honor, okay, Your Honor, I actually have the job done like we intended to. I can actually send you photos right now of it, or I can pretty much show you how it's supposed to have been done. And again, he's saying they come and pour the concrete on whatever Monday or whatever. Again, in the contract, this was supposed to be a stamped project.
We didn't even get to that point.
This is supposed to have been.
You don't even make sense.
You're right.
This is crazy. I didn't even get to pour the concrete. Of course,
but
yeah.
He's clearly saying that this can't be done. It's done. I have the job done correctly.
You found somebody else that can do it. Good job, buddy.
Okay, so Mr. Montoya, you got the work done then. I guess that comes to the next question. What was different? What did you do? Just have somebody come out and pour the concrete then, or what happened?
No, they literally had to. Well, again, like I asked him to come get up his frame. As you can see in in Exhibit 3 where he left that plywood, all he did was like screwed it down. He screwed that down. They literally had to pull that back up. What Frank did was took the reinforcement boards when he took the top of the cap off. He took that, so they had to replace the reinforcement boards. They had to take off this board that he did. They put a whole ice and water shield across it, like it's supposed to be, and up beside the siding of the front of the house. It literally supposed to be. And then they did the extra 4 inches like I did, is stamped, and did the whole sidewalk, and did the sidewalk as well, and added the 2 ports, the half moons.
Okay. And who did the work for you?
Mid-Michigan. Actually, he's local.
Mid-Michigan, was it? Or
Yes, mid-Michigan, yes. Gerald Dick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what they had to do was they just basically, did they take the plywood out that he had down there, or what did they do?
Yes. They had to take that up, and then they had to put back the boards, the reinforcement boards. So what they do is they put cross beams.
Yeah.
In that whole hole, which Terrence should have done, but he didn't. He actually took them away and then put these two. And I don't know if he either forgot or whatever he did. He just put those 2 flat boards on there, thinking that concrete will hold that. There's no way that 2 boards gonna hold all that weight. So what they did was reinforce the hole, and then they put boards across the hole with the reinforcement. They put ice and water shield on there, and then they put new cross beams. They laid it first. To put those cross beams, you got to lay concrete first, and then put those cross beams that he's talking about that's sitting on there. They put those in the concrete. That keeps the concrete from flexing.
It was just
all right. Michael, he should have, but at the same time, he's a know-it-all. I don't know if what he said is just if it's accurate, but the amount of detail that he just put in, he was micromanaging whoever did it. He was probably standing out there with them the entire time, taking notes. This is what you do. This is what you do. Yeah, this sounds insufferable. This guy does, not Frank. I kind of like Frank.
Then, of course, it's going to get put in the concrete. It sits there and wait for the concrete to get there. Dude, you don't even know what you're talking about. Why you keep trying to tell me how to do my job? You're the worst customer I ever had, man. This is crazy. I would never recommend anybody to do work for you.
Okay, so Mr. Frank, from your side, is there support beams underneath that plywood?
He has Your Honor, he has support beams underneath. The only thing different that they probably did is just put his water heat shield across. I use my material that I like to use. They use what they like to use.
Okay.
If you believe that you put house shingles,
you shouldn't let me do my job.
Any type of anything.
Oh my God, man.
So guys, if I'm just going to make a decision if you want me to do that. If you want me to kind of work around some figures that 2 of you were throwing around, that's fine. If you want me just to make a decision, I'll do it. If there's something, I guess, Mr. Montoya, you wanted, I guess it was $600 back at one point. Is that what it was?
That's if he came and took his frame down and cleaned up.
That's what I did.
That was, Your Honor.
Okay. That was.
Listen. Just listen for a second. I told him when he got mad about me taking his sign out the yard, he walked away. So I figured he was gone. He had left.
I walked away.
I called him that if he gives back,
You're a liar.
$875, come clean up his mess.
You're a liar.
We would be okay.
Liar.
But what he decided to do was sweep the stuff in the grass, which I took pictures
You're
of.
a liar.
To you.
Okay.
And left that board, took those boards down for the steps in the front board, and left that flat board screwed down to that hole. But I guess he just left that there because he didn't want to take it up. So that was the agreement. Come take the frame down and clean up your mess.
This is it's a small claims court. It's a civil matter. There's a different level of rules of evidence and how you bring in evidence. There is some hearsay that's allowed in civil matters. So I don't know exactly, but they might not be breaking it. But also, Frank's not objecting to hearsay. Judge is allowing it. I don't know which one it is. It could be a combination of both.
And just return $875. That's what I said. He didn't agree to that.
How dare you?
He said only thing he was willing to give back was the $670 or $675. And I said no. I said no.
I was willing to give you $500 back.
All right, guys. Let me I tell you what, I'm gonna make decision, make some decision. We'll come back on. Okay.
All right. We've decision time. There's only a couple minutes left of this video, so I'm going to let it play out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. Biggin, thank you for the raid. Even though you didn't hit the commit button, you didn't hit save, my friend, but I still do appreciate the shout out and the raid. Anyways, what was I going to say? Yes. As Vic said earlier, he asked if I was going to announce my trip next week. I'm not 100% sure it's going to happen next week. I'm hoping it does, but I'm not exactly sure. But the plan at this point is to go up and visit Judge Middleton while Debbie Davis is in court. So yesterday evening, I spoke to Debbie, trying to figure out when she's going to be in court for sure. She doesn't really know because she goes back and forth between Middleton and Pattinson. Is it Pattinson? I think that's his name. The other judge in the building. But she doesn't really know. She just asked me to text her at the end of the week. But she said maybe Tuesday. Again, she doesn't know for 100%. But I want to get up there before the weather gets bad because it'll probably be my last court trip. Probably until I'm going to say February or March because I'm not going to be driving up there in the snow or when it's just crappy outside. I don't want to do that. But that's what I am. That's what I'm planning to do, and that's why Vic brought it up at the beginning of the stream. That being said, if anyone wants to donate to the gas fund, I would appreciate it. My link tree is in the description. But yeah, so looking at sometime next week, it might be the week after, but it will be probably in the at the latest the first week of December. Because after that, I'm just going to call it a year for the court travel. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to set us to raid. Who are we going to raid tonight? Oh, wow. I completely shut down YouTube. Should probably raid Lone Wolf because he's the one who sent me this clip. Yeah, that'll be the nice thing to do. Let's raid Lone Wolf. Okay, we're going to raid Lone Wolf. All right, let's see. It's decision time. You guys are awesome. I will see you all tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Until next time, bye.
All right, we can come back on. We can finish up. I've got Mr. Frank, Mr. Montoya. Get both of you back on here. There you go. Mr. Montoya? There you go. Got one question, Mr. Montoya, for you. The work that got done, the porch is done now, right?
The porch is done now.
Okay. Did they give you separate prices for taking out the work that needed to be redone? No, they just did the job. How much was the job that had to be done then?
51.
Okay, so they did they just redid it kind of.
Yeah, they charged me for the whole thing.
Okay.
I mean, you got to understand, all he did was took the cap off and put some wood and house shingles down.
Yeah.
He trying to make it like he did a whole demo. He clearly told you he was only there a couple of days. And one of the days, like I said, he walked off, and the next day
What day did I stop lying in here? I cannot, Your Honor. You could just make because this guy is, man.
Okay.
I can't take it.
Okay. Order. Let's see. That's judgment for plaintiff in the amount of $600. I split the difference between what Mr. Montoya wanted and what Mr. Frank wanted, given totality of what I've heard. The unfortunate thing is I don't have enough information on what the charge was for redone, actually. So $600 to Mr. Montoya, $120 court costs for a total of $720. Okay,
And that's to be paid when, Your Honor?
30 days. The 30 days. Okay,
Okay.
we'll send a copy to both of you. Okay,
Yep.
all right, guys. Good luck. Bye.